Greetings, friends. Very warm welcome to my channel. Today I have for you the summary thus far of what my solar electric system has been doing since I first installed the set of Canadian solar panels, which are to the right of this view here. There's 4 of them on an array that is on a pole mount. I made these pole mounts myself from mostly scrap materials from the scrap yard. But that was the first array, and as of today, now that I've had actually 4 sets of these arrays put together since 2018, I now have 17,738 kilowatt hours of energy harvested from these panels. That's very respectable, especially where I live. Each of these arrays is rated at a basic average of 1,000 watts. But where I live in this state, the sun lies lower on the horizon, of course, than it does near the equator. And so I get typically on a good sunny day, which today is a smoky day, but a good sunny day, I'll get about 800 watts all through the day, all through the sunny part of the day, from each of these sets of panels on each of these arrays. These arrays, the 3 of them, basically face east, a little bit southeast, so that to take advantage of the full amount of sun in the morning. These 3 arrays actually rotate. Each of them will rotate through about a 45-degree arc. So I can rotate them from basically straight east to pretty much south. But I don't rotate them daily at all. I usually set them at an angle. You can see that I can tilt them a little bit. The mount underneath against the pole is adjustable, so I can adjust the angle of the panels vertically from horizontal, and depending on where the sun lies, the season of the year. And so I can adjust that, but then they rotate. They rotate around that arc, around the pole rotates. And they're manual. This is not one of those automatic rotators. So these rotate by hand. And the reason for that is I leave them pretty much one way as the sun is coming across the sky in the early spring. And if I find that I'm not getting enough energy from those panels to run one of my electric heaters, then I can rotate them to orient more towards the south as the sun moves toward the west in the sky. So I can harvest as much energy as I can. I never worried about all that hoopla about getting the angle perfect with some kind of an instrument from your phone or phone app or whatever. It just doesn't matter. What you look at is you look at where the sun is in the sky, you look at the orientation of your panels, and just set them nominally. If a person sets their solar electric system way too lean and not enough panels, first of all, you're going to be in trouble anyway. You won't have enough energy no matter what you do. It's better to go with a little larger array for what you want to do. I didn't want to be fully off-grid, and I did not want to be grid-tied. I wanted my system to be a system that could supplement, at a minimum, all the energy needs that I have. And it also is a system that is providing all of the energy to my apartment. The apartment itself is completely powered by these panels. The rest of the property, the well pump and the shop, are basically powered by the electrical grid. So I use this in my apartment, and it's a really great idea because that way, with these panels and the battery backup, I have about 1 full day of battery backup, plus the batteries, and this is a 48-volt system. But basically, I have never without power in my apartment, where I have the computers, where I have the lighting I need to do my work, and kitchen, all that kind of thing. It's all, there's never a time when I'm out of power unless something happens to my solar, which hasn't happened in all these years. at least 7 years now this has been in operation. But it has a very respectable amount of energy been harvested from these panels. But mind you, I do not harvest basically any energy from these panels in the dead of winter. The dead of winter, you would need so many panels, and you would need so much battery backup, which is not, it's just not possible. So you're better off to go with a nominal system to do what you want to do, and add a respectable battery backup to whatever you want. If some people want 3 or 4 days of battery backup, fine. If you can afford that, go for it. I only wanted a 1 full day of battery backup. So I have 20 kilowatts of total battery, which means I can draw 10 kilowatts from those batteries in any given day without going into degradation of the batteries. But this system is a backup system. Now I'm a real fan of redundancy. So I have this system as well as the electrical grid. I have a diesel generator, I have a gas generator. And as far as heat, I have oil heat, I have pellet stove, I have a wood stove, I have a propane cook stove, I have propane dryer. So I'm very redundant in everything I have here, so that I am somewhat off-grid, but not fully, because I don't mind using the electrical grid as much as I possibly can, and that defrays my cost of solar by a great deal, especially when it comes to the dead of winter. The dead of winter in my country, in this kind of country, where you're further north, this is 45 degrees north, you're just not going to get the energy harvest in the winter that's going to be any good to you. So you might as well plan on using backup or using grid in assistance to your solar backup and or generator, that type of thing. So now I have moved the camera over to my 4th array. This is actually the 2nd array that I installed. I installed the array that was in the former part of the video on the far right in the view. That was the 4 Canadian solar panels. But then I bought a dozen LG panels that were 365 watts each. These are the big panels. And so I can still stay with pretty much 1,000 watts per array with all 4 arrays that I have. The problem with this array is this is a great one for harvesting late afternoon sun for me, where my other panels basically lose all ability to receive any sun with all the tree line that I have here. So I lose basically any harvest from those panels about 2 in the afternoon in the middle of summer. So I have to pick up extra power from this set of panels. But since I bought 12, I still have 3 I can still use. Now this array, as you can see, was a very simple assembly right along the fence line. This is something you can keep in mind if you need a quick way to assemble something. I didn't have to do any mounting on the back of the panels. They're all mounted basically from the front with large aluminum clips that I found in a junkyard and cut and fitted. Now this has been up here for 8 years, so it's no problem. It's very solid. The fence itself is very firm and solid, and it just kept everything good. But even with the winds and snow loads and everything we have here, it's just not a problem. So this array is 3 panels, about 1,000 watts, but I have realized in recent years that I really need to double the amount of energy I have, which I can do with the extra 3 panels I have. So I am working at this time on design and the actual machine work to machine the parts and pieces to change this to an assembly of 6 panels. They will all go so that they orient 90 degrees from where they are now. They'll all be lengthwise across the fence, and the narrow-wise is up and down. So there'll be 3 to the right and 3 to the left. It'll take a little bit more length here, but it looks like to me like what I've seen in the sun and what I've harvested in the past from this set of panels. It'll be even better than it is now by a long shot, and provide double the amount of energy that I can harvest. And I can start harvesting here about noon in the summer and harvest right on until about 6 o'clock in the evening. So that will be the final amount of energy that I can get here. So my energy harvest will only go up in time, and this will really help with spring and fall as far as the extra electric heat that I use in my apartment. Basically, when I've got sun on at least two of these arrays, when this becomes two assemblies of 3 panels each, so that'll be 6. If I have 6 panels here working or 6 panels on the rotating arrays working, then I can certainly harvest enough energy, either side of the day, to run my electric heat in my apartment. And that's going to be a big boost to help defray the cost of oil for my heater, my furnace, and for the pellet stove, not run that so much. And so it's going to be a real boon for me. But I just wanted to give you an introduction to basically what I did here. There's a lot more to this system. I will explain more thoroughly in the future. I just wanted to give you a quick view of what I was going on here, and I will show you this array when it's completed, and we'll take a look and see what it's harvesting at the time. So thank you for your visit. Please have a great day, and please stay safe.